Let's talk about the workhorses of our warehouses and factories, forklifts. They're powerful, they're essential, and they're literally everywhere. But all that power comes with some serious risk. So in this explainer, we're not just going to read off a list of safety rules. We're going to get into the life or death reasons behind those rules and see how we can turn that danger into diligence. Okay, let's just start with a number that should make you stop and think. According to the Health and Safety Executive, lift trucks are involved in about 1 out of every 4 workplace transport accidents. 1 in 4. That's a huge number. This isn't some hypothetical what-if scenario. This is a daily reality we have to deal with. So, before we even get into any checklists or regulations, we have to understand what's at stake. The most powerful safety tool isn't a rule book, it's knowing why that rule is there in the first place. This is about way more than just ticking a box for compliance. It's about preventing incidents that can change lives in an instant. To make this super clear, let's get specific. Forget the word accidents for a second. What are the actual, real-world events that cause the worst injuries? Just think about it for a moment. What do you think are the 3 biggest, most immediate threats that a forklift poses to people? Okay, here they are, the big 3. Being crushed, being hit by a forklift that's going too fast, or being struck by something falling off the forks. These are, hands down, the main causes of serious injury and death. Keep these 3 scenarios in your head, because every single rule we're about to cover is designed specifically to stop one of them from happening. All right, now for the rulebook. And I get it, sometimes this stuff can feel like a bunch of red tape, but I want you to think of these regulations as a shield. A shield built from the hard lessons learned from past accidents. They're not there to slow you down. They're there to make sure everyone gets to go home in one piece. The safety laws we follow today didn't just pop up overnight. It really started building back in 1974 when the law put the responsibility for safety right on the employer's shoulders. And then, in the 2000s, the laws got some real teeth, making it possible to prosecute companies and hitting them with much bigger penalties when they failed to protect people. In the safety world, you're going to hear a lot of acronyms, but there are 2 you absolutely have to know. The first one is LOWER, and the easiest way to remember this one is that it's all about the action of lifting. It says that every single lift has to be planned out, supervised, and, this is the big one, only done by people who are properly trained. And the second one you need to know is PU-WARE. The difference is really simple. If LOWER is about the action, PU-WARE is all about the tool itself, the forklift. This rule demands that the machine is kept in good shape, inspected regularly, used the right way, and again, only by trained operators. Fun fact, this is the regulation that made seatbelts mandatory back in 2002. And listen, the penalties for getting this wrong are no joke. We're not talking about a slap on the wrist. In a magistrate's court, fines can go up to 20,000 pounds with possible prison time. But if it goes to Crown Court, well, the fines are unlimited and the prison sentence can double. That tells you just how seriously this is all taken. Okay, so we've covered the why, the stakes, and the what, the rules. Now let's get to the most important part, the how. This is your practical, everyday playbook for operating a forklift safely. And let's be crystal clear, these are not suggestions. They're non-negotiable. So much can go wrong when you're loading. Seriously, rushing this part is just asking for trouble. You have to follow the steps every single time. Forks all the way under, tilt it back, keep it low when you're moving. And that maximum weight capacity, that's not a target, it's a hard limit. Never, ever go over it. Ramps. They seem simple, but they're a huge factor in a lot of accidents. It all comes down to simple physics. The heavy part, the load, has to always be on the uphill side of you. That's what keeps the machine stable. So when you're going up a ramp, you drive forward. When you're coming down a ramp, you drive in reverse. It really is that simple, and it's absolutely critical. You're not driving in an empty parking lot, right? You're in a busy, active workplace. That's why your situational awareness is just as important as your driving skill. It's about knowing who's around you, paying attention to the signs, hitting that horn at blind corners, and the passenger rule, that's a hard no. No one rides on the forks, on the load, anywhere, ever. All right, this next part needs to become second nature, just pure muscle memory. I'm talking about the pre-drive inspection. The best way to think about it is like a pilot's pre-flight check. You wouldn't want to fly on a plane that wasn't checked over first, would you? A forklift is no different. This quick check can spot a tiny problem before it turns into a massive failure. So you start from the ground up, the tires. Just do a quick walk around. Are they in good shape? Do they look properly inflated? Give them a kick. This is literally the foundation of the machine. If it's not solid, you don't go anywhere. Next, the two most important controls you have. Before you even think about moving, test your brakes and test your steering. Is the response immediate? Is it sharp? If you don't have 100% confidence that you can stop and steer, that machine is a danger. It needs to be taken out of service, no excuses. Now check the parts that do the actual work, the lifting mechanism. Get your eyes on the hydraulics. Do you see any leaks? Any damage to the mast? Even a bunch of dirt and grime can hide a serious issue that could cause a failure when you've got a heavy load in the air. And finally, before you even turn that key, make that cab your command center. Adjust your seat, adjust your mirrors. Don't stop until you have a clear 360-degree view. Think about it. If you've got blind spots when you're sitting still, you're starting your shift at a massive disadvantage. Okay, so we focused a lot on the operator, but what you do as an individual is only half the story. The final and maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle is building a real culture of safety. This isn't just on the driver, it's a responsibility everyone shares, all the way from the ground floor to the top office. So what does a culture of safety actually look like? Well, it looks like a formal policy that people actually follow, one that's enforced, not just filed away in a drawer. It means having clear, non-negotiable rules on all this stuff you see here: speed limits, training, pre-use checks, and yeah, using your seatbelt. This is the blueprint. When you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple idea. A strong safety policy, followed by everyone, isn't just a piece of paper. It's a promise. It's a promise you make to yourself and to the people you work with that you're all going to look out for each other. Because, like we said at the very beginning, the alternative is just far, far worse. So I'll leave you with one final question to think about. Take an honest look at where you work. Is your commitment to safety just a policy collecting dust in a binder somewhere? Or is it a living, breathing promise that you and your coworkers actually practice every single day? The answer to that question makes all the difference in the world.